Preliminary Planning Board meeting to order for August 10th, 2022. It is 7 PM, and I just want to point out to everyone that is here, this room has two exits. They're on the right-hand side of the audience, in front of the room, and the back of the room. And if we have to evacuate for any reason, I ask everyone to proceed through the exit closest to them, move away from the building, and don't come back in to our fire officials have instructed us to do so. I'd like to ask everyone to please rise. We'll pledge allegiance to the American flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anything interesting?
Okay. Jeff is not going to be here tonight, so I'll appoint Roger to vote for Jeff. There's 6, we have 8 voting members, that's a quorum, and we can proceed. First part of our meeting is administrative board work, where we got our business done, and tonight, under old business, we have actually 3 public hearings. 2 of them have requested continuances, and we'll be hearing the third one. So administrative board work, approval of minutes, we have no minutes to approve, that was done last week. Any regional impact determinations?
Not this evening, no.
There's none. And discussions with the town staff. Anything, John?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay,
Nothing.
nothing? Okay, anything from the board? I just want to note that starting, I think, Wednesday is Old Home Day festivities, continuing the rest of next week through the weekend. The parade is the weekend. There's quite a few activities going on at the Londonderry Historical Society and Byron's and everything, and you get something to add.
And David Ellis and I will be at the Town Common in the 300th anniversary booth to explain what's going on. As far as the anniversary of the founding of Londonderry in 1722, I should say, the chartering of Londonderry in 1722, we'll have a copy of the charter that's of the Township of Londonderry, and also the shoot petition, which was the request from the folks over in Ireland, the Scots-Irish, to be welcomed in New England and hopefully find a place here. And so everybody come on down to not just the Morrison House Museum to see the Londonderry Historical Society members and everything that's going on there, but also stop at the Town Common and learn the history of the day.
It'll be more of the Londonderry history, because Londonderry actually was chartered as a town in 1722. Before that, it was known as Nutfield, and Nutfield was settled in 1719, and 3 years ago, there was the big celebration of Nutfield 300th, which involves the towns of Derry, Londonderry, Windham, and at the time, Derryfield, which has incorporated into the city of Manchester.
And also a little bit of Salem and Hudson. too.
Yes, and as the expert in Come to Old Home Day, you really get some of the details of the town history, so.
And one more thing, Art, in
Oh, yeah,
regards to Old
that's
Home
right.
Days, the Green Team has decided in honor of our 300th to get a trolley, which the town was nice enough to get for us, a trolley to recognize 12 of our historical families that helped build this community and make it what it is, to ride in the parade. And Mr. Sypak will be helping me in September to do video interviews with each one of these individuals, which we'll be sharing. And in the fall, we will be doing a time capsule. So we will ask each one of these individuals to give us some sort of small momentum that talks about their family or represents their family and what they did for the town of Londonderry, to be placed in the time capsule. And hopefully we'll be able to open this time capsule in the next 50 years, because we're going to plant it in between the police and the town hall here, and there's cameras there, and nobody would be able to dig it up.
Hopefully
Like
it'll-
they did the last
it'll-
one.
It'll be the time capsule that was buried for, in Derry for the Nutfield thing.
Yeah.
It was moved because they had an addition on the library,
Yep.
right in downtown, what's downtown Derry. And it was moved to a safe. Well, they went to the safe and There was nothing.
It was
in
like an Al Capone moment. with
Well, on the back,
Geraldo Rivera there.
on the back of the safe was the combination for it. I found, and they opened it, and
Anyway, I just wanted to say
forgot.
that there'll be some excitement for our birthday party at least.
Yes, so
They really put
it's
the
the big,
combination of the
big
safe
town
on the
party,
back.
probably the biggest network group in the town, really.
Rocket science, yeah.
Okay, we'll get to our old business. First we have is a public hearing on an application for a formal review of a site plan for a trucking terminal and associated site improvements at number 15 Rockingham Road, tax map 15, lot 99. Zone Commercial 2. Alfred and Nicole Patori Jr. are the owners, and Patori Brothers Paving is the applicant. The applicant is seeking a continuance to September 14th, 2022. I'll take a motion for continuance.
So moved to move it to September 14th, 2022, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Motion by Al, second by Jake. Any discussion by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative. And the only official notice on the continuance of Patori Brothers Paving, the applicant is continued to September 14th, 2022, at 7 PM, right here in Town Hall. This is the only official public notice. We have a public hearing on an application for a formal review of a subdivision plan to subdivide one lot into three, 106 Wiley Hill Road, tax map 5, lot 12-1, zoned agricultural residential 1, 106 Wiley Hill Road LLC as the owner and applicant, and the applicant is seeking a continuance to September 7th, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to move it to September 7th, 2022.
I have a motion by Al.
Second.
Second by Jake. Any discussion by the board? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say
Bless you.
nay.
Bless you.
That was an eye.
Pardon?
That wasn't a sneeze?
No, that was an eye. That was my eye, so, yeah.
Gesundheit. All those opposed say nay. And any abstentions? Chair votes affirmative. Motion carries, and the application for a subdivision plan to subdivide one lot into three, Wiley Hill LLC being the owner and applicant, is continued to the 7th of September, 2022 at 7 PM right here in Town Hall. And this is your only official public notice. Next, we have, number 3 is a public hearing on an application for a formal review of a site plan for the construction of a 7,200 square foot warehouse and wholesale building and associated site improvements. 3 Enterprise Drive, tax map 15, lot 62-3, zone commercial 2. 3 Enterprise Drive LLC is the owner and the applicant. And just identify yourself for our records, Jason, and we'll continue
Mr.
with the
Chairman, you
plan.
need to accept it as complete
Oh, okay.
formalities.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, there are no outstanding checklist items. Staff recommends the application be accepted as complete.
Okay, sorry about rushing things along.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the application as complete per staff recommendation memorandum dated August 10th, 2022.
Second?
Motion for completeness by Al, second by Jake. Any discussion on completeness by the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative. Application is complete, and that starts the 65-day timeframe in which this board has to render a decision. So you're on now, Jason.
Good evening, Jason Lopez, Keach Nordstrom Associates, and I am joined tonight with Paul Carey and Mike Leclerc, both from Northeast Nursery. So the property address is 3 Enterprise Drive. Owner is 3 Enterprise Drive LLC, and the applicant is Northeast Nursery. And this site will be the new home for the their division of Northeast Golf and Turf Supply. Currently, they are located over on Tinker Ave, so they're looking to construct a new building over here on Enterprise Drive. Enterprise Drive, out on the end of the road, is Donovan Spring. We just worked through a little while ago, about a year ago, Bachman's Towing. He's now got 2 sites down there. So this proposal will be for a 7,200 square foot warehouse wholesale building. And it's on property that was created, there was a 6-lot subdivision called Regional Air Industrial Park, created back in 1997. The property that we're on is the first lot on the left, or on the west side of the road. It's a 6.1 acre lot with 533 feet of frontage, and it is located in the commercial 2 zone. The property is bisected by a segment of, it's segment 2-2 of Little Cohos Brook, and it's flanked on both sides by a larger wetland complex, and that takes up the majority of the western portion of the property and the northerly portion of the property. We did have the wetlands delineated and survey located. We conducted a data check with Natural Heritage Bureau, no known occurrences of sensitive species in the project area. The wetlands do impose a 50-foot buffer, and the brook that runs through imposes a 100-foot buffer into the developed area that could be developed. So the lot development will impact 5,335 square feet of a wetland buffer, and a conditional use permit has been submitted for action by the board this evening, and that was supported by the Conservation Commission. We also conducted early on a review from New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources, no historic properties affected. We have presented the building, the lighting, and the landscape plans to the Heritage Commission and received support for the proposal. The site will be served by Manchester Waterworks, and we've received approval to connect. Fire Department has reviewed the site plan and approved the proposal. The project will be served by sewer, and we have received the town sewer connection permit. Liberty Utilities will supply gas, and Comcast and Eversource have supplied a will serve letter. The other permit we needed was NHDOT to amend the permit for the intersection of Enterprise Drive and Rockingham Road. No need for improvements. So in terms of other approvals, permits, and everything, we're in pretty good shape. Now, if we take a look at the site plan, I guess if you could go back to the existing conditions plan, please. Yeah, thank you. You can see the kind of the northerly and westerly portion of the property, or the upper part, left part. A lot of wetlands out there. There is a 100-foot and 50-foot setbacks. And then along the whole frontage of the property, there's drainage easement, slope easement, sewer easement, site visibility easement. So with that, the wetland setbacks and all the easements along the frontage, it kind of constrained the area that we could develop. So if you could go to the site plan, please, next sheet. Thank you. So one of the, beyond those encumbrances I just discussed, one of the items that they need is a tractor trailer on site. They will take deliveries by a full-size box trailer and some flatbeds. So we needed to get the truck in the site, on, turn around, and they need to back up to a loading dock. So put all that together, we were really limited on the locations we could put the building in order to have a proper loading dock. So we did the best we could. We put that loading dock off on the north side of the building. You will notice on the front of the building facing Enterprise Drive, there is another, what looks like a little concrete pad. That is going to be a garage door That's for forklifts to access in and out of the warehouse space. And there's another garage door on the rear of the building, again, so fork trucks can bring, they store some products outside on racking. So we've got a bunch of racking to the rear of the building. So we have a garage door in the front and the back. So with that layout that was needed, it put a lot of that development close to the wetlands. And as such, we have a side slope along the back corner of the building that impacts into the buffer zones. So the impacts in the buffer will be a vegetated slope, installation of a drainage pipe, and the construction of a treatment swale. With that, we've got 14 parking spaces, and then we provided an additional 3 spaces in the south, we'll call it south, I guess, west corner of the property. They have 1 box truck that they'll want on site for deliveries, with the potential of adding additional in the future, so we called out 3 spaces for those. On the next sheet, grading and drainage plan. The entire paved area will be curbed. We direct all stormwater runoff to closed drainage system. That closed system will then drain to flow into a large subsurface chamber system. That system is fairly deep in the ground. It will be wrapped with a PVC membrane and provided with under drains inside and outside of the membrane. We want to make sure that the system fully drains, but then we've got to take care of hydrostatic pressure. So we provide an under drain system around it to keep the system down in the ground. The outflow from that chamber system will go into a treatment swale. It'll pass through the treatment swale, exits out into the wetland buffer, about 43 feet or so, until it enters into the wetlands. We have submitted for the Londonderry stormwater permit. That permit is still pending. Couple sheets away from there, the landscape plan. One more, I think. Yeah, there we go. So, as I stated, we did present this landscape plan to the Heritage Commission. With the requirement, site plan requirements require a certain number of plantings around the parking area and pavement. And part of that was to require plantings between the pavement area and Enterprise Drive. But that is covered by a site visibility easement, and part of the agreement on that visibility easement is to not place any landscaping. So we've moved landscaping around on the site. Off the northeast corner of the building, over near the loading dock, we tried to put a little higher up on the screen there. Yeah, in that area there. So we tried to move a lot of the landscaping to provide some screening for that loading dock on the side of the building. But we were prevented from putting a lot of landscaping along the frontage. Lighting plan, I believe, is the next one. We've got all downcast, dark sky, compliant lights, all LED. That is in compliance with the town regulations. And then the last 2 plans in the set are the building perspectives. They worked with the building manufacturer, architect to develop the renderings. It will be a metal building, metal roof, somewhat flat roof, but slight pitch. There we go. So you'll see, as you stand in Enterprise Drive looking at the building, on the left side, there's a large glass, the whole corner will be glass, breaks up that appearance of just a big metal building. The type of construction materials, this is the same company that supplied Bachman Towing buildings. So it's going to be the same type of construction. And again, you'll see in the elevation, the front, the garage door. So with that, we do have the CUP for buffer impacts, and we're also requesting 3 waivers. One waiver is for the driveway width. We're asking for 37 feet where 36 is the maximum permitted. We are asking for a waiver on topography in the wetlands out in the back portion of the property. And then Exhibit R106 is the 3-to-1 slope with riprap. In that slope along the impact area in the wetland buffer, we have a specific vegetated plan that was developed for slope stabilization of a 2-to-1 slope. So we have those 3 waivers also to discuss. So being a quick overview, I can ask more specific, address more specific questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to town staff first, then the board, and then to the public. So, John, you got
Yeah,
the floor.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board will go through the waiver requests initially. As Jason indicated, the first waiver request is to section 3.08B6 of the site plan regs to allow a driveway width of 37 feet where 36 is allowed, is a maximum. Staff does support the granting of the waiver due to the configuration of the site and for allowing proper maneuvering of the trucks and other vehicles providing access to the site. Second waiver request was to sections 412A and C3 of the site plan regs to not provide the existing conditions or topography of the westerly portion of the site. Staff does support granting this waiver as primarily consists of the wetlands and the topography of the uplands is appropriately shown. Again, they've shown the developable area. Third waiver request is permission from the planning board per Londonderry zoning ordinance, section 587J, to allow a slope steeper than 3-to-1, which does not comply with Exhibit R106, where riprap slopes are required. We do want to note that during a technical review meeting with the applicant and his engineer, that staff voiced concerns regarding the proposed stabilization method, utilizing seating as outlined in the plan. However, the applicant made it clear and assured all at the table that their methods were superior, and they're guaranteed that the steep slopes would not erode, as they are in the seating industry. With the assurance of the applicant, staff does support granting of the waiver request, and finds the applicant's proposed plan of stabilizing and maintaining the slopes are acceptable. So those are the 3 waiver requests. As Jason summarized, again, they had gone for a conditional use permit to impact 3,535 square feet of the 100-foot Little Cohos Brook buffer and 1,800 square feet of the 50-foot wetlands buffer, portions of which overlap the 100-foot Little Cohos Brook buffer for a total of 5,335 square feet of wetland buffer impact for the drainage system, including a drainage pipe, treatment swell, and a slope grading. Staff does support the granting of the conditional use permit, as the Conservation Commission recommended its approval and provided certain seed mixtures are utilized as noted in the Conservation Commission's June 28th, 2022 Conservation Commission meeting minutes. And again, native species only and no wild lupin. We have a few technical review comments, design review items. Item number 4, Jason did a good description of what the layout of the site. The site design layout indicates that the proposed loading area will face Enterprise Drive, which does not comply with section 308 G12 of the site plan regs. We note necessary driveway site distance encumbrances and lot frontage area of the site, and the applicant has provided additional plantings adjacent to the loading dock. Again, we just want to bring that to the board's attention. And again, I believe that staff was satisfied with the the additional landscaping that was placed, as Jason had described. Item number 5, Jason indicated, and I concur, the sewer discharge permit has been issued, and staff is currently reviewing the stormwater discharge permit. And once those are approved and the numbers are issued, we're requesting that they put the approval numbers on the cover sheet and then provide copies of the permits for the planning department's files. Item number 6 are comments related to the construction details. We're requesting those clarifications be made for proper construction. The Storm Tech Underdrain Detail 2 on sheet 4 indicates the chamber system will be surrounded with an impervious PVC membrane and a separate stone layer with an underdrain to be constructed below the PVC member. We are recommending that they revise the detail to indicate 12 inches of stone bedding be required below the structure, particularly in the ledge section, consistent with the town standards. And the second item was updating the fat face reinforced landscape wall detail on sheet 9 to provide the dimensions of the blocks, dimension of the width and depth of the drainage stone leveling pad and unit fill. Again, this is all for proper construction. That's all I have right now.
Okay, thanks, John.
Yeah.
You have anything to add, Kelly?
No, I don't.
You're all set, okay. We'll do the board. I'll start with Ian.
Well, I think John answered some of my questions, well, all my questions I had. The only thing is, I have a question of the applicant. I know there's sightline issues and you couldn't put bushes in the front area. Now, where's the sign going? I'm just curious.
No sign. The sign, it's on the front of the building.
Okay, nothing at the
No
street?
ground sign.
Okay, great, thanks. That's it.
That's it. Deb?
My only question is, and probably because I'm not an architect or an engineer, when you guys push the snow, where is that going to go? I'm just concerned with trucks parking there and fluids leaking out of them, and you push it. I don't want it to go near the Cohos water, anywhere near there. And I didn't understand where it was going to go. If you could just,
Yeah, I believe it was the landscape plan, or is it the site
I'm looking
plan?
at it, but I'm not the smartest fish here.
On sheet 2, the site plan. You'll see on the kind of the southwest side of the large paved area surrounding that whole, from the dumpster area
Yeah?
towards Rockingham Road.
Okay.
And then back out, there's a
going
large area there. Yeah,
It's
a
going
little
over
bit.
on that side.
Yeah, a little bit down as they clear that aisle going down by the racking
Okay.
beside the building.
That was my only concern. And only one big window? Guess you guys don't like cleaning windows, huh? That's it. It's fine.
Okay. Jason?
I'm good, thank you.
So my only question is on the third waiver regarding the slope, the 2-to-1 versus the 3-to-1. I know the memo says that you are okay with the assurance that, from the developer, that it's okay. Do we need to memorialize that somewhere in the site plan, that they're
think
assuming
again,
all
I think-
liability for it? Or just the fact that it's on the site plan, does that take care of it?
I think again, and by you granting the waiver, our recommendation is based on their assuring us that they could maintain it. And by the board approving the waiver request as written, I think it's memorialized.
Okay, great. Thank you, John.
Yep.
I'm all set.
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Yanni?
I mean, I think you did a great job fitting it in a tight spot and trying to comply with everything, so I'm all set. It's good.
Roger?
Who am I to argue with anybody else? I think everything's fine and it looks like a good addition to Londonderry.
Jake?
I am all set, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Are there any abutters or anyone from the public have any questions, comments, and concerns in regards to the site plan? I do not see any. So, there's no public input, and I'll bring it back to the board for our deliberations. And we have 3 waivers to consider, and also a conditional use permit to consider, and then conditional approval to consider after that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the applicant's request for 3 waivers as outlined in the staff recommendation memorandum dated August 10th, 2022.
Motion by Al,
Second?
second by Jake. Any discussion on those 3 waivers? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. Abstentions, and chair votes affirmative, and the 3 waivers have been granted.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant the applicant's request for a conditional use permit per staff recommendation memorandum dated August 10th, 2022.
Okay, motion by
Second.
Al, second by Jake. Any discussion by the board? Just note that, I guess the Conservation Commission has recommended seed mixtures to be utilized as noted in the Conservation Commission June 28, 22 meeting minutes. Native species only, no wild lupine. So I'm sure the details are in the minutes. So. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, chair is affirmative, and the conditional use permit has been granted.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to grant conditional approval of the site plan for the construction of a 7,200 square foot warehouse and wholesale building and associated site improvements, 3 Enterprise Drive, map 15, lot 62-E, zone C1, 3 Enterprise Drive LLC, owner and applicant, in accordance with plans prepared by Keach Nordstrom Incorporated, dated January 7, 2020, last revised July 20th, 2022, with the precedent conditions to be fulfilled within 120 days of the approval, and prior to plan signature and general and subsequent conditions of approval to be fulfilled, as noted in the staff recommendation memorandum dated August 10th, 2022.
Motion by Al for conditional approval.
Second.
Second by Jake. Any discussion by the board on conditional approval? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Abstentions, chair is affirmative. Motion carries. You have conditional approval.
Thank you very much.
And check with staff on any details on that, so. You're all set. Okay, other business, County Commissioner Thomas Tamburello will not be attending because with the change in the districting of our county delegation, he's no longer represents our district, so. We'll have to stay tuned. We have our state primary coming up the second Tuesday in September, which is the 13th, I believe. So please vote. And seeing no other business? You have anything
Well,
to-
our acting will still be Brian Chiricello of Derry, is still the county commissioner now
Yeah.
for us,
Yeah,
until the change happens
until, yeah, I guess next year.
next year. I just, in case somebody wanted to contact him in regards to
Yeah,
funds that are available for apartment people struggling to pay their rents.
okay, so Brian is still
yeah.
our,
Yeah, he's still the point of contact in Derry, yep. And he's a town council,
I was gonna
so,
say, because he's been on ours quite a while, so,
yeah.
or at least
Well, it was Kevin Coyle and then Brian Chiricello.
Brian Chiricello.
Yeah.
Okay. Seeing no other.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn by Al, second by Jake. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, everyone. And